one-sided as people think that it is.
Well, we have a student athlete and one hell of a player, Sincere McCormick of UT San Antonio. He was honored again for the second time. He was honored all throughout the nation, but also the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award honored Sincere McCormick for the Player of the Week. He joins us on Sikkim 365 Radio, 365 Sports, and what a win coming off the win against Memphis. Sincere, thanks for your time. You've gotten a lot of attention before, and I know it's all about the team. We love your head coach and Jeff Traylor, but what really shocked me when I saw your stats, when you guys were down 21-0, you still ended up with 42 carries. What does that say about keeping to the game plan and just chopping wood to get back in the game?
It says a lot. Our team, we bring that triangle. We was destined to run that ball against a team like Memphis. They haven't really been pressured to, people running the ball against them. And we had to showcase that, I had to do whatever it took to, win the game, taking 40, 50 carries. It doesn't matter as long as, you get in that end zone or win the game. And luckily we got guys like Hunter Duplessis to, make the game-winning field goal. So, taking that load, didn't mean much, but we just going to make sure that triangle travel and we're going to be, physical running that ball.
What is it compared? So if you say you had 21 carries, just half of it, what did you feel like compared to a 21 carry game after that one?
I mean, after the game, I feel the same. Like I told them before, I feel like I still run a track meet or something, but, after that game, it was just, I felt good after the game. I didn't feel hurt or nothing like that. My body used to enduring a lot. So, after the game, it didn't really faze me at all. So, that's just the type of person I am.
Sincere, my mother Cindy works for the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award. She wanted me to tell you hello. That she's definitely had you. Yeah, had you on the list a few times. I knew Jeff Traylor a little bit and definitely followed his high school teams back in East Texas. And Smokey here knows him on a very personal basis. Can you begin to describe just the impact that he's had there at UTSA with the culture, the attitude, the winning, all of that?
He's a great guy, meeting him for the first time, after, guys like Frank Wilson, he's the one who recruited me originally. And then, a person like, Jeff Traylor coming in, and I had to get used to it because I'm like, I've never been through this where a coach gets fired and coach get in. So it took time for me to adjust to him. But as he speaks and the things he was talking about and the way he was living by it, made me comfortable with myself and made me comfortable in being able to trust him. I don't trust too many people, in my lifetime, but, the stuff that he was doing for us and the stuff that he was committed to helping us and becoming a better program. Instilling a culture into us was the best thing that could ever happen to the UTSA program. With him instilling a culture, people like some of the older guys, they, trust the process and they had integrity, the pillars that he brings, with that. And then instilling to, UTSA, it meant a lot for us. It meant so much, that the guys could look up to something and the guys after us can, follow. So, with him, bringing that into the UTSA, it meant a lot for us. It meant a lot for us and all the other guys, especially not just the impact in UTSA, the football team, but the community itself. San Antonio is the seventh largest city, and just for people just to recognize him, what he's doing for the program is huge.
You mentioned that it sometimes was tough, or it can be tough for you to trust some people. Is there something that kind of led to that you now can get to the point, or is that just kind of making sure you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, it just makes sure know who I'm dealing with, what kind of person I'm dealing with. I'm the type of person, not more of words, I'm more about action. So if you show me what you preach, I can go by it. Just like he said, trust is truth over time. And, over time, he showed me so much. I can't deny it. He's a great guy, great character. I love the man. And, I run through a brick wall for him.
Sincere McCormick, running back at UT San Antonio, with us on 365 Sports YouTube and also Sikkim 365 Radio.
Sincere, what does it mean to you to be playing? You're from Converse, to be playing at UTSA, to be a San Antonio guy, to have your roots there and to be part of that UTSA team?
It means a lot. Just being here, coming from Converse Judson, a powerhouse program in high school, and then, staying in the city and being able to showcase my talent, at the next level for all the people from around the city with all the high schools, and just letting everybody know that they're capable of doing that, no matter what happens to them or with the recruiting process that you can just stay home and, make something happen. I was fortunate, to have great people around me, just to keep me lifted, keep me going through the process. So, being here at UTSA is the spirit. One thing is, and my ultimate goal is to have UTSA like the talks like UTF of the world, or the Miami U, of the world. So one day, once I leave here, I want, UTSA to continue to be talked about around the country.
It's pretty amazing they've been able to do this, the success they've had on and off. But now what you guys have a nice run going, the win against Memphis. It's 15, the program's like 15 years old or so. And you've had some other coaches, as Coach Coker and among others. We were talking about this Sincere McCormick of UT San Antonio, the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award winner this week after his performance against Memphis, about a lot of what now student athletes have at their fingertips, not just scholarships or whatever else or cost of tuition, but now there's the name, image, likeness, and now there's even more that might open the door. How much of that have you been able to dive into? And also, is it's kind of a distraction anyway, and you kind of have to be careful with it?
It can be at times. It could be like you get caught up in all these deals that you make. I have like 11 or 12 deals that that I'm with. At times it can be a distraction, but you can't let that deteriorate from what you're doing on the field, because if that gets caught up in the field, then all you worry about is money. But it's a lot of things that come into place, especially with the NIL. People want to make money, but there's things that I have to focus on, and that's just winning the ball game. All the other stuff is gonna come into place. But I have a great mom. Shout out to Precious Thompson if she's hearing this, but she motivated me to become the man that handles my business. How not to get distracted with the money and the clothes and all that, and just stay on the task, focus on the task at hand, and that's win the ball game for the team.
Sincere, the win against Memphis was huge. We know how important that was. You were down by 3 touchdowns, and I mentioned you guys just kept kind of chipping away, and you eventually got the win. How do you clear that? I know you have to, but it's kind of hard, isn't it, because it was such a critical win?
Yeah, it was a critical win. When they went 21 up, 21-0 in the first quarter against us, it's kind of like a sock in the mouth. He was like, this can't happen. We can't let this ruin our day. But like you said before we started this interview, chop wood, carry water. You just got to continue to fight through the process, and that's what we did through the whole game. We was like, we're not going to be denied, and that's something that carried through the whole game. As Brendan Brady in the second quarter, he started it off right. And, I'm lucky to have a guy like him. I go to war with him any time of the day. And, for him to carry that momentum to second, third, fourth quarter. And after a while, Memphis defense got tired and we just kept pounding the rock.
All right, so my next question is this. You guys have now beaten Illinois. Obviously, you had wins against Lamar, Middle Tennessee State, and now Memphis. There's a lot of talk going on out there about where everybody ends up in the next year or 5. Is that even talk in the locker room about what you're trying to do to put UT San Antonio in front of people and say, hey, what about us? Or is that even a factor?
That is a big talk in the locker room, because, we feel like we don't get enough credit. I mean, us being a young program, we still want people to know that we're about business. We suit up just like the rest of any other university. We play football just like any other university, and we can hang with the best of them. And I believe in the strong foundation that Coach Traylor set for us can, go forever. Even after I'm going, that's the thing that's a big emphasis of what we're trying to create here at UTSA.
You need to ask him about Coach Traylor about his all-white couch. Do you know about this?
Yeah, I know his all-white couch. He talks to us about it a lot.
Yeah.
He says his wife got him an all-white couch and he can't even sit on it.
Yeah, it's like it's still got like bubble wrap and plastic around it. He does not. That's not a decision that Coach Traylor gets to make, is he? That's hilarious.
Yeah, he told us about it. He don't get a chance to sit on the couch. He's like, I got this white couch, but I can't sit on it. Oh. And he just talk about it all the time, man.
Yeah, he's a good one, man. You guys are very fortunate that he's the one that got there, and I know that you guys were doing well. I'm glad he's doing well. We love him to death. Thanks for your time, Sincere. Hope to see you again, talk to you again. Congratulations on the week, and keep winning.
You will. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sincere McCormick, UT San Antonio. What a great personality, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good player, too. He's been, for the last couple years now, pretty much a staple in my weekly stats that I got to put together. Go through every single D1 game in the country and look for players from Texas that, for those that don't know the Earl Award, it's Earl Campbell backed and have a banquet every year, and it's for the top offensive player in the state, from the state of Texas or in the state of Texas in D1 college football. And McCormick, he checks both boxes because he plays at UTSA, but he's also from Converse Judson. But a guy like not Spencer Rattler, but Gary Bohannon's eligible. He's from Arkansas, but he plays at Baylor, so he plays at a Texas school.
Casey Thompson at Texas.
He's eligible because he plays at Texas, but otherwise you got to be from Texas. But yeah, Sincere, I've been following him now for a couple years, watching him do his thing, and he's a really good player, and a big part of what UTSA has been able to do over the last couple of seasons, and look forward to what he does the remainder of the year. I mean, they're sitting in a good spot, getting that Memphis win out of the way. That was huge. That was a big-time comeback, and it looked like they were going to get their first lump, but instead, they keep it perfect. So big shout-out to UTSA, and it's interesting to hear him, admit, we've talked about some of the expansion and things like that, and, that's a school that right now doesn't appear to be in a really solid position to just go full bore into jumping into, the Big 12 necessarily. But with the city of San Antonio behind them and, the fact that it's a brand new program and they can keep building and they've got a good coach like Jeff Traylor for as long as they can hold on to him, because that'll ultimately become the thing and is already starting to become the thing of he's getting mentioned here and there for jobs because of their success. But if they keep building and keep it together, I mean, if there's another wave of realignment in the future and something happens, then UTSA might get a look because of the fact of where they're located. They're in Texas, on and on and on. And then they got some money. Yeah. There'd be reasons to check them out if you were, certain conferences potentially.
They beat Illinois in Champaign, and I know Illinois is kind of fallen, after their win against Nebraska, who everyone else has beaten. Lamar, but the win against Memphis was that's a big-time win. I sent a text to Jeff Traylor. I said, hey, that was nice, and he said that was big. He knows it. Everyone knows it. UNLV is next for them,
and that should
coming
be a
up
win.
this weekend.
That should be a win. So they should be 5-0, and then it'll get maybe a little bit tougher. And like Western Kentucky's got that quarterback Zap. I can't remember. Yeah, that is from Texas as well. He's a guy that's been on the list. There's a lot of Texas players in the conference, but